Hi guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start off with my eyebrows. First, I like to underline them. I like to outline them, so I start by the bottom and then I go ahead and go onto the top, and then I just fill them in. I like to fill out the tail first just to get that kind of faded look in the front so they don't look boxy. Near the front of my brow, I like to have it underlined, and then I'll go ahead and flick my brush up to make hair-like strokes. I make sure to really have a lot of product at the end of my brow so that it looks a little bit more refined. And then I go through with the spoolie just to make sure that the product is evenly blended out. I do make sure to blend out the most near the front of my brows or the inside, so that way it doesn't look so boxy and it looks a little bit more natural. As well, just keeping the end or the tail of my brow a little bit more saturated. And then I just go ahead and repeat the same steps on my other eyebrow. And here I do blend a little bit out of my eyebrow just below. So don't worry if you make a mistake, we can always clean it up with concealer like you'll see me do in just a little bit. Oh, the wonders concealers can do. Here I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. And I use the Maybelline gel eyeliner in brown to do my eyebrows. I don't actually use like a pomade. I just find that the consistency in the Maybelline gel eyeliner is really amazing for brows, and it stays all night. And here I'm just setting my eyelid. I did put concealer as a primer, you can say. What I'm using as my transition shade or crease color is actually a Wet n Wild blush. I don't really have a lot of makeup, but I try to make the most out of what I do have. So here you'll just see me use kind of like a pink corally blush on the crease of my eyes. In this area, I go in with a smaller brush. This is actually an e.l.f. brush. I'm using a bronzer that I got from Sally's, which is really awesome. Very little fallout, actually no fallout at all, and it's really pigmented, so I really do like it. If you watch my videos, you'll probably learn that the most important thing is to blend. I really do spend a lot of time just blending in a specific area where I want the best outcome in the shadow. Here I do go in and just make the shape a little bit more pronounced, and I'm just going back in and blending with the first brush that we were using with the pinkish coral shade. Here I'm going in with a little bit of the Maybelline Fit Me concealer just to make my lid a little bit more pronounced, since it did get a little bit lost in that shadow. So I'm just going to go ahead and tap it out with my finger and do the same on the other side. So here I'm just going in with a little bit of powder to set the concealer or set my lid, and I'll do the same on both eyes. This is actually the powder that I used to set my eyelids earlier. And here I'm just going in with a little bit more of that bronzer, just making sure that it looks a little bit more blended, kind of a little bit more smoky on the outer corner of the eye, if you will, and just make sure that it's even and make sure that the shadow is anywhere that I would like it to be. Here you're gonna see me use a lot of concealer. I do have vitiligo, which is actually loss of pigmentation in your skin, so I do cover these when I want a full glam face. Other than that, I love my spots, so I don't really worry about it. But for this video, I did want to show you guys a little bit of how I like my makeup when I go out on a date or anything like that. So I do use a lot of concealer for my specific skin type. I have dry skin, so I'm just mainly focusing the concealer where I need it, in this case on my vitiligo spots. I do use the Real Techniques sponge to make sure that it's blended out evenly. And here I'm just applying foundation all over my face just to cover everything. It doesn't really match, but try my best. If you notice, I'll be making a lot of weird faces throughout this part of the video just to make sure that I get everything blended out and that nothing creases in any of my fine lines. Here I'm just going in with a little bit of the LA Girl concealer just to highlight. I do like to bring it up all the way almost to the bridge of my nose just because it gives a little bit more defined look. So I'll just go and apply that on the high points of my face. Once I've applied the concealer where I would like it to be, I do go in with the Real Techniques sponge to blend all of that out. Once I've blended all of the concealer out, I do go in with some powder to go ahead and just set that. Make sure that there's no creasing under the eyes or anywhere that I applied the concealer at. Here I'm just gonna go in with some bronzer to contour my cheekbones. I also go in on my forehead and then on the jawline. I do spend a lot of time blending this out, so bear with me. I also go in with that same contour shade on my nose, and then I'm just applying some blush with an angled brush on my cheeks. Sometimes I like it on the apple of my cheeks, and sometimes I just like it where my contour goes. It just depends on my feelings that day. And then I'm just going over with some face powder to even everything out. And of course, don't forget to brush your eyebrows once again to make sure that everything's all set. Here I'm going in with one of the Milani liquid lipsticks, and after that I do go in with one of the NYX liquid suede or liquid lingerie, I'm not sure, just to get a matte lip color on there. And then here I just go in with some of the bronzer and some of the pink shadow on my lower lash line just to open up my eyes a little bit more. I do find that doing color on my lower lash line opens up my eyes at least. And then here I'm using a little bit of highlight on my nose and on my cheekbones. Here I'm just gonna go ahead and apply my lashes. I just use a little tool for that. And I do apply the glue on the lashes, wait for it to get a little bit tacky, and pop them on. And here I'm just going in with a little bit of highlight on the inner corner. I didn't get to take any pictures of the finished product, but that's all for now. I will be uploading more videos in the future with a little bit better content. Thank you guys for stopping in, and have a great day. Bye.